Alright, so recently there's a fight that was announced, and it's actually coming up a little sooner than we think. It's actually in next week. Not this weekend coming, but the weekend after, I believe. Um, Let me just double check that. But the fight I am talking about here is Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, why is this fight so major? Well, I think this is actually a surprise for most people because I don't think a lot of people saw Colby Covington really ever fighting a contender ever again because he's Colby Covington. He's 36 years old and he's about to be 37. I didn't even realize that. That's no bueno. But yeah, 36 years old, likes to yap about all these lightweights while he fights at welterweight and then won't fight the lightweights. Just a yapper, to be honest with you. But most of the time we like his shit talk. However, last fight it was just but Joaquin Buckley is actually a pretty fun, entertaining prospect. And I say prospect because even though the dude's been around for quite a while and he's got one of the best KOs, while also getting knocked out to Chris Curtis and Kevin Holland, not good looks, just being honest. But he's still young. Like, he's only 30, and he used to fight at middleweight. Now he's fighting at welterweight. Looks like a big welterweight. This guy's got personality as well, you know? I think during the Alex Morono fight, he was talking about how his opponent just wasn't really making the fight interesting. There wasn't any back and forth or anything. He's trying to look for opponents to make things a bit more interesting. Maybe that's why you got Vicente Luque, who had brain bleeding going on. But regardless, I think this fight could be cinema. Now, Colby Covington's known for shit talking, and their main event on a fight night. So at least we're gonna get not press conferences. What is it called? Media day, where we're just gonna see the fighters yap without any sort of backlash. So I guess Colby Covington can just start yapping about Joaquin Buckley. I think maybe this is where Colby Covington turns heel and or not turns heel, opposite, becomes a good guy, and he just says, "Yeah, man, he's a good fighter." Da 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 da. And Joaquin Buckley starts talking shit. I could see that. Either way, I think this fight could be pretty good. I think it could be especially depending on the finish. I think this fight could be sick. And now let me just double check. Joaquin Buckley versus, actually, let's just make this easier. Yeah, it is the weekend after. All right, I was correct. Of course I am. I'm right about anything. Anyways, but yeah, I think this fight is gonna be sick. I'm excited for it. I hope there's shit talk in the build up, and I hope they start talking smack, and I hope when we see walkouts, we see something goofy. You know, I hope when we're in the cage, we see Colby Covington maybe just chatting shit. Oddly enough, Joaquin Buckley's the smaller dude, huh? Wow, Joaquin Buckley's only 5'8". That's kind of surprising. A little bit of a Mike Tyson, eh? I know he's got that Mike Tyson style. But regardless, I am picking Joaquin Buckley if you don't know. I think Colby Covington is just too old. He's too not fast twitchy to be able to deal with Buckley. I think the way you deal with Buckley is that you have to have fast twitch and you have to have a finishing ability. Now, Wonder Boy, 42 years old, I think lost the finishing ability. Otherwise, he probably finishes Buckley in the first or second based on that performance. Ruse Boev, I think we found out, just sucks. Vicente Luque, brain bleed. That's a big problem, you know. Alex Morono, also no finishing ability. I think he's got 20 wins now. I can't remember. In the UFC, he's just one of these just soy boys that needs to go down a weight division, has no fast switch or anything. Anyways, and then Fialio, which Fialio just sucks. But yeah, you have to have some sort of level of finishing ability, you know. And he's getting finished by Mavov, which in my opinion is like one of the worst ranked fighters out right now. And then Chris Curtis. Kevin Holland, you know? Like, I really don't like this. I don't like seeing that finishing on the record. But those were a couple of years ago, before his 30s, and now he just entered 30. pretty excited, you know? I am very excited for this fight. We get a real contender. We get a new combatant to enter the mix of title contention. So maybe we get to see a Joaquin Buckley JDM after this. Maybe we get Joaquin Buckley. Who else is at the top? Bilal after a loss. Kamaru Usman maybe. I don't mind that fight. You know, Shavkat off a loss to Ian Gary if that reality becomes existing. You know, probably not a Gilbert Burns. Damn, where is he's number 6? Eh, that's interesting. Yeah. Basically, I don't want Joaquin Buckley to fight like a Sean Brady, even though his matchup's probably better for him. I kind of want to see Joaquin Buckley fight these dangerous strikers after Colby Covington. Because right now, Joaquin Buckley's on a little bit of a layup run. We need to see Joaquin Buckley versus some dangerous contenders. Because I don't count Vicente Luque, Nursultan Ruseboev. Like, come on. And then Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, while I rate as a striker, obviously you just grapple. That's what Joaquin Buckley did, and eventually when Wonderboy was getting up from a takedown, he got the cleanest right hand ever known to man, probably would be able to knock out anyone in the division if they were in the same position. So I want to see Buckley start fighting like actual competition. I don't think Colby Covington's actual competition anymore. I think his wrestling's going to be weak this fight, and I think his hands are going to be lackluster. I think maybe he'll stick out the tongue to fans, and yeah, I'm hoping for some chat and shit in media day, though. I think it can be fun. However, I do think a lot of people are going to talk about the Leon Bilal fight, and they're going to kind of push away from talking about Joaquin Buckley. That's kind of like my problem here, because I think Buckley is a dude that, like, you can sort of rile up, you know? This is a dude you can sort of, like, you know, oh, so what are your thoughts on this fighter? Well, I think he's dog shit, and I think I'm just gonna fucking steamroll over him, you know? I think Buckley is that dude to, like, get something like that going. So I'm excited. It's huge for the division, because this kind of makes welterweight more complicated, because now we have a JDM that earns it. Now we're gonna have a Shavkat or an Ian Gary. Pray that doesn't fucking happen. Or Sean Brady, Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, there's a lot of contenders here, and that's not including the Michael Morales, who's on a fucking tear, the Carlos Prates, who is on a pretty big tear, the fucking Brian Battle, who's about to come up and absolutely slaughter and butcher the whole division, you know? But yeah, I could see Joaquin, like, I think if Joaquin Buckley's smart, he'll beat Colby, and then he'll fight Leon. And I think that's the way you do it. I think that's really smart, and I think that's the way to do it. Leon said he's fighting in March. I think that's full of shit. I don't think he's actually fighting anyone in March. So I think Buckley's gonna be able to get that fight going. If he is fighting someone who, Sean Brady, I wouldn't want to do that if I was Leon Edwards, just being honest. But yeah. Sorry, I just woke up. But yeah, that's sort of my predictions. I think this fight could be cinema. I think we could see Colby Covington, you know, go back to his old roots where he's shit-talking a lot more in the fighter build-up. Especially now that he's not on a live stage and he's not going to say a 7th layer of hair. The classic Colby Covington line. You know, we'll actually get some coherent sentences out of Colby Covington this time. And I'm hoping, I'm just really hoping Colby doesn't do this Trump fucking escapade. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna fight in front of Trump, I'm gonna make Trump proud, I'm gonna become the champion, so Trump's gonna be proud, nah. Nobody gives a fuck, Colby. Just shit talk the other fighter. That's what Buckley wants. That's what you want if you want a higher paycheck, because you're gonna be on a 2-fight losing streak after that, you know? So yeah. Those are my overall thoughts and opinions on this fight. I think it's sick. And I think I'm picking Buckley. I think Buckley's like the obvious choice. I think the only reason why you're picking Colby Covington is because you're still kind of coping that Colby Covington is good based off his Tyron Woodley win. Or his Jorge Masvidal win 2 years ago. Or his Robbie Lawler win 5 years ago. You know? It's just been too long. I think Colby Covington had some ring rust in his last fight. I think he might look worse in this fight because of age, and that's kind of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I think this fight could be cinema. I'm hoping it's cinema. We'll see what happens, I guess. But with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching. I daily upload, you know, just saying. I'll take over the space in no time. Ooh. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I hope you have a good day.